Have you ever wondered why some of the most ruthless, cunning, and even bad people rise effortlessly to the top while countless good-hearted, hardworking individuals struggle to get noticed? Why does it seem like the rules of fairness, kindness, and morality are often ignored by those who wield real power and wealth? This isn't a coincidence or a flaw of society, it's a harsh truth rooted deep in human psychology and social dynamics. The top 1% don't play by the same rules everyone else does. Instead, they harness a dark, Machiavellian wisdom that allows them to bend reality, manipulate perceptions, and climb the ladder of success with cold precision. If you want to understand the secret code behind their unstoppable rise, and why bad behavior often becomes the ultimate key to success, then this exploration will shatter your assumptions and reveal the psychological game behind the power elite. Throughout history and across societies, an unsettling reality persists. Those labeled as bad people often rise to the pinnacle of success. This observation challenges conventional morality and exposes a profound truth about the mechanics of power and influence. Machiavelli, the dark philosopher of political realism, dissected this phenomenon with ruthless clarity, revealing how traits deemed unethical or coldly pragmatic frequently become the currency of the top 1%. To understand why bad people succeed requires a deep dive into human psychology, social dynamics, and the strategic principles that govern hierarchies. It is not a celebration of immorality but an exploration of how certain behaviors, though uncomfortable, can unlock paths to extraordinary achievement. At its core, the success of bad people is tied to their mastery over emotional detachment and strategic calculation. Where many are constrained by empathy, guilt, or social niceties, these individuals leverage a form of psychological ruthlessness that enables them to act decisively and without hesitation. Evolutionary psychology supports this, showing that in competitive environments, the ability to suppress immediate emotional reactions and prioritize long-term gains provides a significant advantage. The top 1% often embody this detachment, allowing them to navigate conflict, make unpopular decisions, and exploit opportunities that others shy away from due to moral hesitation. Machiavelli's philosophy reveals that traditional virtue is often incompatible with the ruthless demands of power. While society extols kindness, honesty, and fairness as ideals, the corridors of influence reward cunning, manipulation, and strategic cruelty. This does not imply that all successful individuals are morally corrupt, but rather that the structures enabling success favor those who can flexibly adopt behaviors that serve their interests above all else. The bad traits, selfishness, deceit, manipulation, become tools of survival and dominance within complex social games. The psychological mechanism behind this dynamic includes the concept of moral flexibility. Successful, bad people exhibit a fluid morality that adapts to circumstances rather than adhering rigidly to fixed ethical codes. This cognitive flexibility permits them to rationalize questionable actions and maintain psychological coherence despite behaviors that might evoke guilt or social condemnation in others. This adaptability is a form of emotional intelligence that separates the truly powerful from the morally constrained majority. Furthermore, social dominance theory explains that hierarchies are maintained by individuals who effectively wield coercion and social influence. Bad people often excel at these tactics, employing intimidation, strategic alliances, and exploitation of weaknesses. Their success is amplified by a keen understanding of human vulnerabilities, fear, greed, ambition, and the ability to manipulate these emotions to their advantage. Machiavelli would argue that this pragmatic exploitation of human nature is not just common but essential for achieving and maintaining power. At the neurological level, individuals who succeed through bad traits often exhibit heightened activity in brain regions associated with reward processing and strategic thinking, such as the prefrontal cortex. They are able to delay gratification, anticipate others' responses, and execute plans with precision. Conversely, those constrained by excessive empathy or moral rigidity may experience conflict between emotional centers and executive functions, limiting their capacity for ruthless decision-making. This neuropsychological basis underscores that badness, in this context, is not mere malevolence but an adaptive psychological profile optimized for high-stakes environments. Moreover, the social environments that foster the top 1% reward risk-taking and boldness, often regardless of ethical considerations. Those who play by the rules may achieve steady but limited progress, while those willing to bend or break rules leap ahead. This dynamic aligns with Machiavelli's advice that rulers must be prepared to act immorally when necessary to secure their position. Success in competitive arenas demands this readiness to cross ethical boundaries, particularly when the stakes involve wealth, influence, or survival. The psychology of power also reveals that bad behaviors often generate fear and respect simultaneously. Fear acts as a deterrent to opposition, while respect is earned through demonstrated competence and control. The top 1% cultivate this balance masterfully, using intimidation strategically without crossing into outright alienation. This delicate dance requires sophisticated emotional intelligence, self-regulation, and social savvy. It is not the reckless villainy of stereotypes but calculated, controlled displays of dominance. Historically, many powerful figures exemplified this philosophy. From Machiavelli's own time to modern eras, leaders who embraced ruthless pragmatism often outpaced more idealistic rivals. Their success was not due to inherent evilness but to their willingness to act decisively and strategically in pursuit of goals. This legacy shapes contemporary understandings of power as inherently immoral and contingent on effectiveness rather than virtue. It is important to note that bad people succeeding does not equate to ethical endorsement. Rather, it is a realistic acknowledgement of how social systems and human psychology reward certain traits. The top 1% succeed not necessarily because they lack conscience but because they manage to prioritize strategic advantage over moral discomfort. This prioritization is a psychological skill developed through experience, resilience, and self-discipline. Practical implications for those seeking success include cultivating emotional detachment, strategic flexibility, and an understanding of social dynamics. This does not mandate unethical behavior but requires recognizing the necessity of difficult decisions and maintaining psychological toughness in the face of opposition. The Machiavellian ideal is not to be villainous but to be effective, to wield power with clarity and without self-deception. Social psychology research supports that perceived power correlates with assertiveness, decisiveness, and sometimes even coldness. These traits signal leadership potential and deter challenges. Successful individuals harness these traits while mitigating the social costs through charisma, strategic generosity, or alliance building. Thus, the bad person's success is often balanced with social skills that maintain legitimacy. In conclusion, the philosophy behind why bad people become successful in the top 1% lies in their psychological mastery over emotional detachment, moral flexibility, and strategic manipulation of social systems. Machiavelli's dark wisdom illuminates these dynamics, revealing that power is less about virtue and more about effectiveness within the human social game. Understanding this truth empowers individuals to navigate the complexities of success with clarity, resilience, and strategic insight.